Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Double RT Boxing Show. This is your host, Mr. A. And what is the robbery? Why is there a robbery? That's what we're going to talk about. We hear it a lot. I've been hearing it. Oh, it's a robbery. It's a robbery. Why? For what? What would be the cause for there to be a robbery? We could get into what I thought of the fight, the scorecard itself. But the main conversation here is a robbery. What is the robbery? Why is there a robbery? Gaballo defeating Emmanuel Rodriguez. Well, right here on Mr.A, we're going to give you Mr. A's thoughts. We're going to talk about the robbery. This fight went through a lot of changes for sure. We know that. It was Abali, Donaire, Rodriguez, Gaballo. But why a robbery? The fight was a close fight. One judge had a lopsided score. From what I can hear, because I did not DVR this card. I fell asleep on it, so I had to catch it very late. I tried my best all the way to the last minute. I didn't read what the scorecards were. I didn't have anything to do because I saw robbery in the headlines. I'm like, shit, this is gonna take me forever to watch that fight. Those who's tuned into the show, you know I'm a very busy man. I do a lot of weekend recaps Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I'm like, man, I'm interested. Gotta stay away from the internet. Do not read anything about this fight. So I didn't want to come across the scorecards. And then I had the scorecard 115, 113. I can tell you that right now. That's what my scorecard was. 115, 113. But again, why a robbery? This fight had a lot of moments where you had to really decide for yourself. Was Emmanuel Rodriguez ring generalship? Was it running, or was it effective offense in the creation? And I'm a big mover. My addiction to the boxing rehab right here, the Double RT Boxing Show. We all know my addiction is ring generalship. I love movers. So to question what Emmanuel Rodriguez was doing, it's weird because that is my favorite style of boxing. I saw what he was attempting to do. I saw what he was attempting to do. To me, as I describe my addiction to ring generalship, I break it down to my favorite fighter, the best one to ever lace him up, Aries 90 Lara. You knew when he was moving, you knew he dictated the fight. You knew it was his fight. You just felt for the most part, you felt it was his creation, that fight. It was at his pace. It was at his doing. You didn't really feel he was moving away out of fear of someone's offense. You felt more like it was him moving to create his offense while taking away someone else's offense. You knew his movement was doing that. I didn't get the sense of Rodriguez moving was that. I didn't feel it was offensive movement to create something. Was it some nice defensive movement? Yes, but at points there was times where I felt like he was just moving because he had no answer and Gaballo was forcing him to move. And like that, my favorite two movers in the present time right now is Tony Harrison and not my favorite, but those are the easiest ones to just pop in the picture. Tony Harrison, when he moved, you knew he was controlling Charlo. When Lara moves, you know he's controlling that person. I didn't get no sense of control from Rodriguez's movement. Defense was nice, but I didn't get no control over that fight. That's why on some moments, and I think that's where a lot of the scoring went sideways or back and forth. Some judges felt Gaballo was forcing him to move instead of Rodriguez moving himself. Now in saying that, I had the fight after the first 6 rounds, I had that fight a draw. I actually had that fight a draw all the way up until round 10. You know, I had the final 2 rounds, the championship rounds, deciding that fight. The championship rounds I did. The last 2 decided that fight for me. And who did I have winning those 2 championship rounds? I had, let's just say my scorecard went like this. For the first 6 rounds, 3-3 apiece. I had rounds 1, 3, and 6 for Gaballo. And then I had rounds 7, 8 for Gaballo as well. Now, to me, a turning point in this fight was round 6. Gaballo landed a nice 2-piece to the body, and I think that really slowed down Rodriguez, because I think it affected Rodriguez into the 9th round, because I had Gaballo winning the 6th, 7th, and 8th. I thought in the 7th round you saw Rodriguez stop really moving and stand his feet and stand right in front of him. I thought that allowed Gaballo to win those following 2 rounds, 7 and 8. In rounds 9, it seemed like Rodriguez finally shook it off, got his legs back, went back to moving on the outside. But this time it looked like he was really setting offense, moving on his own to set up offense, not moving because Gaballo was chasing him and pushing him around the ring. It seemed like Rodriguez knew he was tired, so he moved defensively, but throwing offense. His movements to me seemed different than the first half of the movement. And then it was a lot. And what made it real tough for Rodriguez, every round he had some sharp shooting jab moments. Every round he picked Gaballo off at some points. But in those same rounds, Gaballo had a lot of ugly Sean Porter-ish type of offense. And a lot of it was in body work. A lot of it was just ugly. And I counted a lot of that over the stretch of the shorter, sharp shooting moments that Rodriguez had in those same rounds. But going into that 9th round where it seemed like Rodriguez got his legs back, his strength back, and the wore off the effects of the body shot, I had him winning on out. I had him winning the championship rounds, 11 and 12. I gave this fight to Rodriguez 115, 113. But I don't see... I'm not going to question the robbery, because this was a back and forth ugly fight to judge. But again, why the robbery? What is the robbery? We can get into that discussion now before we go. If you're going to say that, it's PBC building up a Filipino War Showdown. And this was supposed to be Nonito Donaire. And it was supposed to be for the WBC title. You know, O'Belly's belt, O'Belly became a champion in recess. Nonito Donaire and Rodriguez was to fight for the full belt. And now it was for the interim belt, meaning you can have Nonito Donaire fight for that number one spot again to become O'Bally's number one contender. So take away the interim title, have Nonito Donaire fight Gaballo. It's a nice Filipino showdown. It may not be a showdown. It should be a showdown, a Filipino showdown between the Flash and the new interim champion. Is it a big fight, super fight? No, it's not, but it is a nice international affair between Pinoy versus Pinoy. And in America, Pinoys show out for their fighters, at least the dominant names. And I think Nonito Donaire has a great fan base in America, considering him being a Pinoy boxer. And it may not be a sellout fight of its own, but you put that fight perhaps on the undercard of Errol Spence's next pay-per-view. Bring in some of that money. Bring in some of that fan base in Texas, tickets. And I think you can, if you're going to talk it, why talk it? If you're going to say it, what is it you're saying? The robbery, there it is right there. More money between a Pinoy and Pinoy and an international showdown in America. Right there on Errol Spence's pay-per-view. Thank you for your time and support. This is Mr. A, and this is the Ready Talk Boxing Show.